Welcome, everyone. I am DM Paul of the Raven Rolls. Welcome to Shadows over Hollowfort Session 2, a Gloam 5th Edition game. With me are our players. I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Oliver.
Yeah, I'm Oliver. I'm from Hamburg, Germany, and I'll be playing a human wizard called Sterling Eden Langstaff. Yeah, that's it, I guess.
Thank you, Oliver. And Kevin, you're next.
Hi, I'm Kev. I'm from England. I've played a few games with Paul. I'm going to be playing Xander Kane, a ranger, formerly of the Dawn Guard, now a prisoner. Looking forward to the session.
Thank you, Kevin. And Zevi.
I'm Zevi. I'm from Norway. I'm playing a human rogue named Vilmos Roundtree.
Okay, thank you. And Kevin has offered to recap last session. Take it away.
Okay, so the party was on board an airship, a dirigible, that came across a storm and was forced to land here in Hollowfort. On disembarking, we were greeted by the captain of the fort, a Patience Turner, where she took our details, registered us, questioned us on why we were on board, what we were doing on board, and sent us on our merry way. Myself, Xander Kane, was a prisoner, being looked after by Sterling, who was an autist. I am to be moved on from here soon. Immediately, I was sent to the cells for my crimes of illegal use of magic, while Sterling made his way around the fort, got accustomed, met another autist named Abatha Harrison, who seemed to be held in quite high esteem around the fort. Vilmos, a likable person, it seemed to be, a quite charismatic person, um, managed to get his way into the fort without much hassle, um, and also was made comfortable in some lodgings in the barracks. Um, as Sterling and Vilmos were having a meal in the barracks canteen, the alarm bells rang. Xander, in his cage, in his cell beneath the fort, was questioned by Abatha. He too heard the alarm bells ringing. Attack. The fort was being attacked. Sterling, Vilmos was pleaded with to help defend the fort at all costs from the attacking force. They volunteered. Sterling, however, made his way to the cells to free Xander, knowing that a man of such abilities might be useful in such a battle. Abatha was also there and agreed on freeing Xander. The party together then, kitting up, made their way out into the courtyard, where they found out that elves, the Gloam elves of the wasteland, were attacking. Xander rushed to the walls, surprisingly with Sterling by his side. From there, we defended the walls with as much gusto as possible, while Vilmos stood alongside Abatha. Unfortunately, there was a ghast that arrived. They broke the gate. The ghast waded through the horde of the elves. Finally, with the magics of Sterling and the range attacks of Vilmos, and finally, Xander being resigned to his death on being sentenced due to his illegal use of magic, charged the ghast. The combined effort managed to bring it down and end the battle. The fort was defended. Xander passed out beneath the ghast. Everyone appreciative of the efforts of Vilmos and Sterling. And so we continue the tale.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Um, it's been a couple days. Fort was the front gate was rebuilt, and obviously Xander was put back into the cells. And there's been a lot of talk on what to do, and Patience requests that you join her. She calls you into her office. Uh, and she asks you to that the attack from the elves was not uncommon, but it hasn't happened in a while, and just with the timing of it, with the dirigible that crashed a while ago, he she wonders uh, if you were able to go check in to see how if there are any survivors and recover any information, anything from the crash dirigible that's anything salvageable. And even Xander, she begrudgingly even says Xander would be allowed to go. He's proven himself, but obviously kept under the watchful eye of Ordist Sterling. Do you? She can't conscript you into this. She can't force you into it, but she requests that you go through this, and she would obviously make it worth your while. She would provide you any supplies you may need, and obviously reimburse you with some coin.
What 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 good is coin to a sentenced man?
Well, I was speaking with Abatha, and we're looking. Despite having these magical abilities, you have proven yourself, and you still have the discipline of a Dawnhammer. She has offered you a temporary. Uh, you have authorization to use your magic within reason, under the direction of Ordist Sterling, and if as part of your reward, you would be actually freed, and but you would have to be made have to join the Ordist.
Well, certainly wasn't expecting that from an autist. So what you're saying is I can keep my head on my shoulders. All I have to do is to help these guys and find out what's up, and then I get to join the autists. Not like I've got
Yes.
much options.
Well, I'm certain that Ordist Sterling would be. Are you interested in this? Is this something you would wish to partake? I can't force you, but would you be willing to undertake this as a leader of this expedition?
Well, most certainly. I mean, if this condemned man would like to redeem himself, then I would gladly assist him in that.
Yeah, speaking of condemned men, Mr. Vilmos happened to find some information on you. It appears that you do have a bounty on your head. but I might be willing to have all charges dropped if you undertake this. Consider it a incentive. She smiles a little.
Well, I can't refuse that, can I?
It's a shame for you that you had to land here, but maybe it is a boon for us. Well, go see. Abatha has might have some stuff for you, and also check with the quartermaster if there's anything else that you need. Uh, do you any questions?
Seems pretty clear to me.
Okay.
I guess, and I look across to Sterling. I guess I'm still under your care then, Commander.
I think you can drop the commander. Sterling will do. You just behave yourself, okay?
Okay.
Yes, boss.
Is there any equipment you guys would like to request?
Well, since we're just visiting the dirigible, I think we're so far quite well equipped. Do you expect anything larger that we would need to salvage? Would we maybe need a crate? Sorry, wrong word in English. A wagon?
Probably not. If there is anything larger, try to maybe hide it, and then we can like once we know exactly where it is, we might be able to send a small group out there. I didn't want to send anyone out just blindly looking for it, but maybe the three of you can find it.
And if need be, I have magic to assist me in carrying these things. For you, it would be via Tensor's floating disk, which I can just load stuff on and carry behind me.
You know, I can send I can send two soldiers with you with a cart just in case. But if anything if it gets a little too dangerous out there, then they will come back. I can't. But yeah, go see Abatha. So we'll just do this out of character. Is anything you need? Any equipment wise, weapons, maybe an upgrade in armor?
Xander would just be happy with his standard, like with his equipment that he had previously, although a breastplate wouldn't go amiss.
Okay, let's go Zevi. You can get we'll give you studded leather, which will increase your AC by 1. I'm guessing you are light armor.
Yeah, that would be
And
nice.
breastplate. What does that increase your AC by?
It actually doesn't. It actually doesn't do much for me at all. It's just maybe a little bit more practical looking. Because I've got the medium armor feat, master feat. So, scale mail and breastplate are exactly the same.
But scale mail has disadvantage, I think, doesn't it?
But the medium armor feat, like, kind of gets rid of that anyway. So.
So the breastplate will increase it by 1, your AC?
No, they're both 14 plus my dex.
Really? What's the difference between them?
Just the disadvantage. Without the feat, it's like the disadvantage is taken away, but with the feat, it doesn't actually do much. So yeah, it just looks a little bit more practical, I guess. But yeah, I mean, if I could get half place, then brilliant. But that's probably a little bit expensive.
Okay. Let's say yes. You got the whatever it is. You got we'll say half plate. You may not be able to keep it, but they do have one there, so you get the extra 1 AC.
Excellent. I turn and look at Sterling and say, I guess it's pretty good being an artist if we're getting lent armors like this.
Well, it has its perks, certainly. Rest assured, I will not need armor pieces, but nonetheless, nice for you.
Okay, so you go to see Abatha, and can I have each of you roll a d8?
4 for me.
I also got 4.
Okay, and
7.
perfect. I'm just I'm gonna just change one of them. Um, okay.
I got a 2. If you wanted me to re-roll.
Okay. So she mixes up. She's mixing up some different things, and she looks like she has she has some blackish, reddish blood that was from. That you find out that it's from the ghast that she was that you guys killed, and she's mixing all kinds of stuff with it. And then there's suddenly, as just as you guys walk, just before you get in, there's a violent explosion, and you find out that she was mixing gas blood with um, some all fermented seawater. That didn't go well. Actually, no, sorry. Refined black powder. So she was mixing black powder and gas blood, and an explosion happened. It goes, oh, well, that's interesting. Maybe if I change the proportions, and she mixes some. Oh, she says, "Oh yes, come in, come in." You there? She points over to. She points over to Vilmos. Can you get me that container there? The one with the purple salt in it.
Okay. And he goes and gets it.
She, so she mixes those two up, and she looks it over. She sniffs it. She actually, it creates with the powder, the sorry, the with the, it's coarse purple salt. And she mixes it with the gas blood. There's no reaction. She looks at it. She touches it with her, with an exposed finger, sniffs it, and rubs it over her eyes. She goes, "Ah, just as I thought. Properties of the gas, being an elf, and with the this coarse purple salt, managed to create into a paste, and it gives you dark vision." So she makes three little samples, three little containers, and puts it aside here. Can each take one.
Um, Xander kind of scowls at this and kind of, more what? No, no, thank you. I can see fine in the dark.
Actually, can you? Oh, you.
Yeah, Gloom Stalker or the Deep Stalker.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Well, that's it's up to you. And then she goes, "I think mixing the gas blood with the black powder, I'll have to use this." And she pulls something off the shelf. Actually, she pulls off three of these contraptions and stuff, and she puts the gas blood into all three. And in the top, there's like another vial, and she puts into it the refined black powder. And she goes, "I don't have time to test it, but this should work. If you throw this really hard and break it, it'll it's a little more than what I was testing. I tested a little bit and it explodes. So here, don't drop it." She puts three of these. So it looks like a clay uh, flask, and suspended in it is a little glass vial. She goes, break it, and it'll go boom if you need to. But I said I haven't tested it out yet.
Vilmos, Sterling. I ain't touching these things. This alchemy is it's beyond me. You're free to carry them. Help yourself.
Well, I will gladly carry a few of these. Vilmos,
I
do you
was
care for
about to
one?
say the same.
Sorry?
Vilmos says, I was about to say the same.
The
You don't
same
wanna-
as Xander or the same as Sterling?
The same as Sterling.
Yes, we can split.
That sounds
Excellent.
fine for me.
And then
They're all yours.
this is basically what the artists are good at, and she is one of the she's more of an inventor, also researcher, but an inventor. So she's using all these different things, and she created a lot of the defenses of this place. And she gives you no, essentially what you have is alchemist fire, but it does necrotic damage. Alchemist fire. You throw this flask up to 20 feet, shattering it on impact. You make a ranged attack against a creature or object. It is an improvised weapon, so you won't have proficiency bonus, but it's also a lot easier to hit an area than a person. And the D4. Let's see. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna tell you the damage. It won't be. It probably won't be the D4. I'll tell you the damage when it. They may or may not all do the same damage. She doesn't. She just mixed a few things together, and it'll do splash damage as well. So wherever it hits, plus anything around it.
Cool.
But it might do
So,
more. It might do less. So don't. You don't know until you try it.
so have you just got some plain oil? I'd like some flasks of oil if possible.
Oil. I have some blau gas.
Does it? So if I
Blau
throw
gas.
bread,
Blau
some
gas.
petrol on fire.
Blau gas. All the street lamps here. Well, I guess there's not a lot, but there's still all the fixed lamps, the blimps. I It doesn't actually say, but I interpret it as hydrogen, but maybe not as explosive. But it is still it probably but so it's like a hydrogen helium, but I'm gonna say you can make it explosive if you want, like a uh, like like it is flammable. Do you want something explosive or flammable?
Flammable.
Then blau gas is definitely flammable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would take a few flasks of that if possible, or something of that.
I believe
Um,
that's how they spell it.
what about any any tinctures of healing? Anything that might help us?
She starts rummaging through her stuff. She produces a you could through supplies. You could also have a healer's kit, so that allow you to it has 10 uses. You can stabilize someone without needing to make a medicine check. And where's the healing potion? Healing potion in the DMG, the better ones. trying to remember now.
Not sure. I know they're what 1d8 plus 4.
2d4 plus 2 for the basic one. She said she has 2 of those. Just the 2d4 plus 2.
Here, Sterling, Vilmos.
It'll be a while before I can make some more of those. We were running a little low after the battle yesterday, a couple days ago. I need to find some. Someone roll me a d8. Actually, yeah, just one d8.
1.
3.
I'll go with the 3. No, those. We'll go. I need some more bile squid ink. There might have been some on board the ship. If you happen to find that and able to bring some, they were supposed to make a delivery with the bile squid ink and some of the fermented seawater. It makes a nice healing salve.
Sterling, I'm guessing you know what that looks like?
Yes, I'm quite proficient in the alchemical arts, so I shouldn't have problems picking out these ingredients.
What tool proficiencies do you have? Any?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So that was just role playing. That wasn't really.
No, that's fine. You can easily most ingredients you should be able to figure out with an Arcana check. That shouldn't be too hard for you. You may not know how to mix them together, but you can identify the base, a lot of base ingredients.
Exactly.
Actually, even maybe even a nature check if.
I've got nature.
Well. Yeah. So between the two of you, you should be able to figure out most things, Arcana or nature. Okay. Now, anything else? Zevi, what weapon are you using?
Short sword, daggers, and a flintlock.
Just wondering. I could upgrade to a rapier if you want. Does that work for you or no?
Yeah, that would be nice.
If you want to rapier, you won't be able. Yeah. I think you could still go two-handed fighting with a light weapon. Is a short sword light? Yeah, so you can do rapier and or no. You can only go one-handed that way unless you have the feet. If you want it. If not, you can have a second long sword if you don't want. Sorry, a second short sword if you don't want the rapier.
Then I would like to have a second short sword.
Okay, so you get a second short sword and a few extra daggers if you need them. Kevin, what are you using?
If they have a saber, then I would be interested in potentially taking a saber.
You mean a scimitar?
No, I've got a scimitar. I mean, yeah,
I don't know a saber.
It would just basically be a reskinned rapier, basically.
Oh, yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. Rapier, saber. Yeah, you can have that, but instead of piercing, it'll do slashing. Does that work?
Yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
So it's identical finesse weapon, just slashing rapier, and
actually no, because I haven't got the dual wielder feat either. Oh, yes, I have actually. I have got the dual wielder feat, so I can have a saber.
Okay. I'll ask Oliver, is there anything you want? A few extra daggers? I don't know if you're dex based or strength based or none of the above.
Well, I'm intelligent based and I will not need any further weapons. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know what to give you.
A scroll?
Yes, I will give you a scroll.
Your mind is your weapon.
Sorry?
Your mind is your weapon.
It is. Well, my character, at least.
Okay, I can give you a second mind. No. Let me see. Where's All right, give me a d20 roll, Oliver.
A 2.
Burning Hands. Scroll of Burning Hands.
Nice.
Do you have second level spells?
I do, yes.
Give me another d20.
A 10.
No, I'm not going to give you that one. Let's see. I'm looking at the. You know what? I'm going to give you something that you can use on someone else. I'm going to give you Magic Weapon.
Okay. You're
Sorry, these are all one use. So you got Magic Weapon and what did I give you? I forgot.
Scroll of Burning Hand.
Right.
So what's the magic weapon? The dagger?
No. It's a scroll of Magic Weapon.
Oh, I see. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I think that will.
It makes a weapon magical.
Yeah, I know that spell. Now I got it.
Magic Weapon. Because it basically gives you a +1. It gives you a +1 Magic Weapon. It's concentration up to an hour. So touch.
And I can cast it on other weapons. Like, for example, I could give Xander the spell. Or I mean, I would cast the spell, but I could use his weapon probably.
Yeah, you
if I touch it.
Yeah, you could touch any weapon, ranged or melee, whatever.
Cool.
Okay. So you guys pack all your stuff up, and yeah, there's two soldiers. Well, you were told they were soldiers. They seem to be more squire like. They're probably trainees, and they take the carts with a small horse on it. No, I'm going to say more of a mule, and they follow you guys, and they're not. They could probably they'll keep the cart safe, but yeah, unless they're overwhelmed. Uh, they do have some weapons on them and whatever additional supplies you might need. So you were told that yeah, it crashed. We'll say north of here, northeast, and it is a forested area, but it's also uh, it's trees have died a bit, but there's still ways to get the cart around. It's not a large cart, so you can make it through the trees. The squires say there are ruins over there. I don't know if that's where we don't know if that's where the elves are, or they could just be in the forest. But the dirigible crashed in that area, so we could at least head over to where the dirigible, where we think it is. Now, Kevin, if you can give me a survival roll.
Yep. It's 11 on the die, +4, 15.
You can see some evidence of where the elves probably came through, especially the large one. And it happens to be coming from more or less the direction where you think the blimp, where the dirigible supposedly crashed. So you keep your eyes open and you make your way over, and you find the crashed dirigible.
I think Xander would be maybe out in front of the party most of the time, kind of scouting ahead, trying to watch out for any danger, kind of as a forward scout, basically, of the group.
Give me a perception check.
That's a 16 plus 4, 20.
You don't see any signs of life. You do see the dirigible crashed and most of it burnt down. You do see some areas that look like they might have been ripped open, possibly by that gas, if that's where it came from, something large like that. But I said you don't see any life.
Yeah, so I've got an ability called Primeval Awareness, which allows me to spend, let me just find it, 10 minutes concentrating. Just check. Yeah, I think I spend 10 minutes concentrating to be able to sense whether, or a minute concentrating, sorry. And I can sense whether or not any of my favorite enemies are close by. So, any
And what
humanoids.
are your favorite enemies?
I've gone for humanoids.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, it's within 5 miles.
Okay.
So it says by spending 1 uninterrupted minute in concentration, you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 5 miles of you. This feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance from you.
So, I think since you might not have done this, as you're examining, everyone has arrived now. You're examining the wreckage, and you touch the wreckage, and you get a vision. Well,
I picture it more as like Aragorn lying on the ground, sensing the orcs running off with Merry and Pippin.
yes.
Sort of thing.
But yes, you can. You put your hand down. Your hand on the ground. I guess you're feeling the ground, and you've never felt this before, but you think it's almost like a sixth sense. It's almost like you're feeling like you're being watched, like someone's there, but you're looking, but it's at a distance, and you think there are a couple different types of maybe humans, elves. You're not entirely certain. What other information does it? You know what? I'll pull it up 1 second here.
It's numbers, general direction. If there's multiple groups, it also tells me about multiple groups within 5 miles.
Is that out of the basic one, or is that the revised?
It's the revised.
But it's similar, I guess. Okay. 1 per levels.
I've just posted it in this chat in the
Okay.
in the Google Hangout chat.
Oh, you're on your phone?
Yeah. Hold on. I can post it in the.
Yeah. When you're on your phone, for some reason, the group chat, the Google Hangout chat is not the same. You are posting.
I've posted. I've just posted in Discord as well. The top bit doesn't really count. It's additionally you can attune to your senses. Yeah, it's probably that part down that's the bit that's needed. On the journey, I'd probably have kind of leant over to Vilmos or walked alongside Vilmos at some point and said, "So, Vilmos, a bounty on your head as well, I see. Done well to stay out of trouble."
Most of the time, I do.
Never have thought that you'd end up in a place like this, I guess.
It's just bad luck, I guess.
Yeah, damn dirigibles.
So we could say, as you were walking, maybe you've experienced this before. You don't know if it's because of your heritage, like your like this magic that you have, or if it's just that you're something you picked up as a scout. But you seem to have a sense of where you've always had a sense of where um, people were around you, and that's why you managed to make it to the blimp without any problems. You avoided there were a few elves over here, a few over there, and you managed to avoid them pretty good. And then once you arrive here and you can get a better to the blimp, you can now sense a larger concentration of elves, not the full group that may have survived the thing, but a small group of them and some humans as well. There's probably 6 elves and maybe 14 humans.
Would that be something very strange? You humans to be with elves, or would they be potentially hostage prisoners, sort of been taken from the crash potentially?
Normally, humans attack elves. Elves are a little more savage, as you've seen, because they've been affected by the Gloam, and then the ones that are really affected turn into things like ghasts. Humans don't usually work. It's entirely possible, but perhaps they are prisoners. That is a good guess. And you do find there are other elves. There's probably 2 of them about 3 miles that way, 4 of them about 4 or 5 miles the other way, but they're not, and so moving different areas, but not coming this way. This large group of 6 is off maybe about a mile or 2 uh, to the east a little.
So yeah,
You think that's where you think if you tell the soldiers, they'll say that that's where the ruins are.
okay. I'd come out of like this concentrated position where I'm down on the ground, stand up and say, "So, Mr. Sterling, it seems we may have a bit of an issue. Um, there's a few elves around us. The closest group, I believe they may have some hostages, some prisoners. What do you wish to do as our leader of this expedition?"
How many elves could you scout?
Of course, I'm no high wizard, but 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that, potentially, with a larger group of humans with them.
Well, I believe it is our duty to rescue these humans. Then, are you able to sneak a little closer or to get a better view on them?
It is in my nature, but maybe Mr. Master of Deception here, Vilmos, might be able to help also. But now that we're at the crash, maybe we can find some of the resources that we need, leave the soldiers here with the cart, point out to them what needs to be loaded on the cart, and while they're doing that, we'll head off and deal with them maybe.
That sounds reasonable. I just hope that by the time we arrive, the elves won't have left.
I'm sure I can track some knife ears.
Splendid. So, as you suggested, shall we take a look at the dirigible then?
Yeah, give me investigation checks.
Everyone?
Oh yeah, all three of you.
I got a 8 all up, 9 on the die.
I got a 10.
Wait a bit, I lost my dice.
I think Xander's too preoccupied with keeping an eye on the surroundings. He might hear a noise off to the one side and kind of react, kind of with his bow drawn, ready. So he can't really in depth investigate this because he's too on edge.
I got 11.
Kevin, your character doesn't have a firearm?
No, I went for the bow instead. It was a lot more quieter. I figured it would make more sense as a deep stalker, someone that likes to sneak and surprise attack people.
It's kind of interesting. You're old school. You're not using the new firearm technology. You have magic and stuff like that. It's almost you're
Yeah, I was gonna take a flintlock pistol, but I just thought if I'm someone that's out and about in the wild trying to get ambushes on people, then firearms are very loud. I would leave that for the soldiers. So I would have like the initial not sneak attack, but initial kind of ambush and try and take people out quietly while the rest of the soldiers would come in and blitz them with the black powder. That would be my tactic, my role, sort of thing.
okay. What the three of you looking around, you find some dead bodies starting to decompose. It's not hard, to find them with the smell, and some are burnt. Some look like they were attacked recently, or but nothing in the way of supplies or anything of value. It looks like the place has been picked clean, if it didn't burn in the initial crash. Uh, so I take it you guys are going to explore the ruins and see up to the survivors, see what the elves are up to there.
Well, yes, if that's the only thing to do right now. I mean, as you said, supplies are gone.
Okay.
Can we check? Is it completely ransacked?
As far as you can tell, you guys, the three of you, checked it over. There might be something trapped underneath some of the rubble, but you don't have the the tools or to get into there. You might once you get if they figure out what's going on. Once you report back, patients might be able to send a smaller crew, maybe with some workers. Now that the gates have been fixed, maybe a small crew with some with some soldiers, and see if there's anything worth salvaging here, even if it's just supplies like material and stuff. Okay, so you guys make your way to these ruins, and with with Xander's help, you avoid any smaller patrols as you make it over. And the ruins, if anyone can give me a history check, looking at the ruins there, looks like there was a small fortress here one time. It doesn't look human in construction. But it's probably seen better days. It's combination of wood and some stone as well, but mostly a wooden structure.
So history check from everyone.
Oh, just well, from you primarily, but anyone can roll as well.
Yeah, well, I rolled altogether. I have a 16.
This is an elven structure. It looks like it's hasn't been maintained well over the years, and it looks like it was actually it probably looks like it hasn't been. It's recently been used, but it looks like it probably hasn't been used before, like before that for quite a while. So maybe the elves have just moved back in recently, maybe a few weeks at the most. And that's about the time that they've been spotted in the area. So maybe they're using it as like a base of some kind.
Mm-hmm. And I will share that intelligence with my compatriots.
That would make sense.
Okay.
So, can I do a perception check to try and see
Sure.
what we can see if we can see any danger?
Go ahead. Looks like there isn't much in the way left of the building. The structure looks like I said, it's fallen, but you sense that the humans and the elves are below. So maybe there was a subterranean structure part of it. Maybe that's what they're using now.
21 all up.
Yeah. So you look around there, you don't find any evidence of anyone there now, like at least above ground, but you do find what looks like an entrance into to something underneath. Maybe it looks a little more natural. So it looks like maybe there's a set of caves underneath. Perhaps the elves use this, I don't know, either for storage or additional uh, space, I guess, for something.
Mr. Vilmos,
Yes.
you seem really light on your feet and move very quietly. Would you like to do the honors and try and get a little bit closer for us?
Well, I can try.
Don't worry, we'll back you up from here. As I look across to Sterling.
Even though he says that he trusts you to do that, it still doesn't really look like he trusts you. But yeah, he'll do it.
Come now, we're both men on a redemption arc.
Okay, so you start heading down into the cave areas. You notice it is a natural cavern, but it is wide enough to move around, and it's a little wet down here. The the stone down here has a strange is a little strange. It's almost black in color and a, a little like a mirror. It's a little odd. If you want to give me a nature check.
12 for me.
Yeah, you've not seen anything like this before. It does look natural, but at the same time, it doesn't. So you don't know if this is. You guys said you've never seen anything like it before.
Mr. Autist, what can you make out of this? I've not seen this stuff before, and I've been out and about in this stuff for a while.
Can I make an Arcana or History check to get a clue?
Give me a history check, and we'll see.
Wait, that's a 6. Yeah, so 11.
You've not heard of anything like this, but then again, geology is not in your
Forte.
yeah, it's not your forte. The
I haven't.
the tunnels are a little narrow, and they create a little bit of. You can still move around in them. It's not, but they are a bit narrow, creating an overbearing sense of claustrophobia.
Well, I have never come across these kinds of structures, and I'm quite curious as to where they might lead.
So you guys continue moving on. As I said, it's sort of we'll say there was a ladder or something. Actually, we'll say it was against the rock face, and it was where the opening was, and it does go a little lower, and opens up into a larger chamber at the moment, and you haven't found anyone. Like, there's no one there at the moment.
Have you guys applied your dark vision paste?
Yeah, it is getting darker in here. There's still a little bit of light, but so you might have to either light a torch or use that's that concoction on your eyes.
Well, I can easily make some light if we are in need, which I believe we are by now, as you said.
But if we get some light, then we'll be much easier to spot in case,
Very true.
The she says Abatha said that she doesn't know how long it'll last, but her best guess is should last a few hours. If that changes your anything.
So, as you suggested, Zevi, then it would be wiser to apply the paste than make light ourselves. And I will fetch the vial. No, was it? Yeah, the alchemist fire was in the clay thingy. So I will uncork the vial with the dark vision potion. And did Abatha tell us how it is applied? Is applied directly to our eyes?
Yeah, you apply it onto your eyes.
Like onto the eyes, okay. So I will take a healthy scoop with 2 of my fingers and then apply it on top of my eyes.
She said it should be safe.
Vilmos just waits a little bit before he tries it himself. He's just gonna make sure that it's not gonna blind him or anything.
Sterling's eyes start burning. No, they it's a little odd. It basically put it over your eyes, and it's like there's a film over your eyes. It doesn't impact your vision, but everything has a red shade to it now. Well, it's made from gas blood and what do we say? Oh, the purple salt. Was that it? Sorry.
Yeah, purple salt.
So it's yeah. I said it's a little it almost like a haze, but it doesn't affect your vision, like a red haze over everything.
Xander's much more used to like skulking around in the dark, in the wilds. So he just spends like a minute just to kind of naturally allow his eyes to adjust to the almost pitch black darkness.
Does Vilmos put that on his eyes now?
Yeah.
Just before you ask, I will say, Mr. Roundtree, come on, it is quite safe.
All right then. I guess I'll try it. And then he just rubs it on his eyes.
And yeah, instantly there's that red haze, but you can see a lot clearer, almost as well as you could in in daylight. Now, Kevin, is it you have dark vision? Is that what it gives?
Yeah, it said 90 feet as well, which I thought it was only 60, but no, it's 90 feet.
Okay, basically how it works, you're not in pitch darkness now. So we'll say it's dim light. So all the dark vision allows everything to be seen pretty much mechanically as if you were looking at things in daylight. If it gets darker, you'll all have disadvantage to seeing things, but that's what dark vision is. So there is a way around it. There is a feat. I think it's the Skulker feat that actually will remove that penalty. So if you have a way of getting dark vision and the Skulker feat, you end up having no penalties. But unless the elves have a way of bypassing it, they would be at disadvantage too if there was a pitch darkness.
And I say the one feature of the Deep Stalker as well, which I wasn't going to mention because I'm more than happy for you not to use it, is supposedly if someone relies on dark vision to see me, they can't see me using dark vision. But I think that's like a bit crazy. So,
well, it's basically you know how to hide a little better.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. That even with dark vision, it's because it's giving them a penalty. But yeah, I can use it. So you guys have trouble seeing Xander. You guys you know where he is unless he's trying to hide. You know where he is right now, but just for flavor purposes. But yeah, you could. He seems to disappear quite a bit into the shadows. Dark vision cell doesn't seem to be working properly with him. You hope it's just him and not any elves you find as well. It seems like he just almost blends in with the shadows a little too well. Maybe as an artist, you want to find out how he does that. And if you can apply it to all Dawn Hammers, then that would be an added bonus, especially against elves. And dwarves.
So, Vilmos, Sterling, how did it feel? How do your eyes feel? Not burnt through yet?
So far, so good.
Wow.
I see a little bit of red.
We do still have some light, or?
Right now, there's a little bit of light coming in. It wasn't a long. It was just a small corridor that was a little claustrophobic, but it opened up into a decent sized room right now. Like it's probably only about maybe 6.5 feet tall and maybe 7 or 8 feet wide. It's not huge, but it's a lot less claustrophobic than the corridors. Does any character have claustrophobia?
Nope. But I'm terrified of spiders. I really am. I mean, not just me, Oliver, which I'm very much, but also Sterling. I actually have it on my character sheet.
Are you okay? I'm not saying I'll bring them in. Are you okay if I bring them in, or you don't want me to bring them in at all?
No, that's fine. It's just visual for me. I completely freak out if I see one of any size, but it's fine if you talk about them.
Okay. I just saw a video of someone changing the water of all their tarantula cages. It was It was freaky even for me.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind
I'm
tarantulas. That's the funny thing. It's like it's very strange. I don't mind them so much. But anyway,
Yes. Okay. Um, so you guys start making it through the next corridor. I said it's a little cramped. Any of you larger? Not large size, but like over 6 feet or wider, I guess. Like big.
no, I'm below 6 feet.
Um,
Vilmos is almost 6 feet.
yeah.
He's 5'9".
Okay. So, I said it's. You guys have no problem. The odd time you might have to move, there might be a stalactite, whatever. I can't tell the difference. There might be a piece of
Stalagmite.
stalagmite, something hanging down, something you have to squeeze around, but you shouldn't have any problems. Same Xander, is he tall or?
No, again, he's live, so he's like average, a slight build, average height, sort of thing.
So yeah, it's about six. It changes. It's not perfect. About 6 feet, give or take. You might, I said, sometimes you might have to duck or squeeze around something, but it is pretty. It was meant. It's gotten a lot of traffic, people walking through here before, like over the years. So, um, yeah, the corridor does wind a bit. Some areas might open up a little, and you found another area that opens up a bit. Uh, Continue along, unless stop me if you wanted to do anything. But I'm assuming you guys are keeping an eye out, and with your primeval awareness, you're getting closer. They're still a bit off, a ways off. You, you think there's one area now that you could differentiate a little more. There's one area that has the humans, uh, and nearby are the elves. But they're not currently. They're not in the exact same area. They're a little bit off, but not by a lot.
Um, yeah, I imagine with Vilmos being slightly more sneaky, stealthily than myself. I mean, I'm not bad, but um, it would seem that Vilmos might have the edge on me. Maybe have like Vilmos move forward to a corner, have a look around. We'd move forward to Vilmos, and then so like he's kind of Vilmos is kind of like the scout now. That we're down in the dark dungeon sort of thing. But I would mention also to Sterling, uh, the humans are separated from the elves. What's your plan of action? Are we going to try and get the humans out without the elves knowing, or are we going to take out the elves?
If it would be possible for us to get out of here without a fight, I would very much prefer that. Mr. Vilmos, would you be able to, Mr. Roundtree, sorry, would you be able to scout ahead and see if we can maybe free the human survivors without engaging the elves?
That is my specialty, actually. So
Is
Just
it?
let you know that the two soldiers did not accompany you with the cart down here.
No.
I didn't mention it, but yeah, they were waiting, keeping an eye out in the. They put the cart. They hid the cart, and they're staying inside the ruins, but hidden as best they can. Okay, so Vilmos, you're going to scout up ahead.
yes, he's
Can you give?
gonna try to stay hidden in the shadows. Just kind of stay close to walls or behind things.
It's kind of hard because right now you're in an open air room now, but there's the corridor you're following is a bit. There's not really a spot to hide, but you could be quiet like that. So if you can give me a stealth check and a perception check. Now, are the two of you following at a distance, or are you going to wait here for him?
I would wait here.
Xander would maybe go in between. So if Vilmos moves like, let's say, 90, 60 feet, then Xander would maybe move 30 feet. And then I'm guessing 30 feet behind me would be Sterling, something like that. So I'd be kind of in between, but I wouldn't want to get too close.
Yeah, sounds good.
Give me a stealth check at advantage, Kevin. Okay, so what did you get, Zevi?
I got a 12 for the stealth check and a
Okay.
13 for the perception.
It's with the winding corridors. You're following as best as Xander told you. You made a guess. Let's go down this corridor, and as you make it through, you don't see anything, and you're being as quiet as you can. It's kind of hard to stealth a little, but you're you're good at it. Uh, and you make it into I wouldn't call it a room, but it widens a little, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Zevi.
12.
You there's something. It's like you're hearing a voice, but you can't quite make out the words. You try to listen, and you think you're not hearing it from outside. It's coming from inside your head. And I need you to give me a D10 roll.
5.
I'm just going to pull up a chart here. Okay. What was that again?
It was a 5.
This voice, it sounds really creepy, I guess. You can't make out the words or the language. Actually, do you have any languages besides common?
Dwarvish.
Dwarvish. It's not Dwarvish. It's not common. It's just like the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up. Actually, all your hairs are standing up. You're getting a chill right down your spine, and you're stunned for a bit. Like you're petrified with fear. Uh, Kevin, Xander, if you could roll a perception check. I'm going to say at disadvantage.
That's 7.
Okay. Yeah, you haven't heard. Like you moved up, but you haven't heard much from him. Are you going to keep moving up?
No, I'm going to stay where I am until Vilmos kind of begins to move again. But I guess I could be wondering why he's all of a sudden stopped frozen.
Yeah, you sense he's about 30 feet ahead of you. Maybe not. Well, maybe a little less because of the winding of the corridors. But yeah, he's not moving right now. You don't know if he's just he he saw something and he's staying still, or if something happened. But he is by himself. At least there's no other humanoid with him. Maybe there's a big animal. uh, after a while, you managed. Actually, give me another wisdom saving throw.
Me?
Yes.
5.
You managed to shake it off, but you don't know if you want to move forward right now. You can move backwards if you want, back the way you came, but yeah, you don't want to move forward. It's whatever is getting under your skin and your head. You think it's off. It's further down. You don't know if you want to head that way.
Vilmos just kind of, he stands kind of still and take like steps back, really unsure of what he wants to do.
Xander wants to call out to him, but he knows that that could be terrible. Usually he would be used to hand signals from his kind of squad mates to kind of direct him on what's happening. But obviously Vilmos isn't used to this, and Xander's like waiting for the signals, but they're not coming, and then forgets that this isn't one of his squad mates. And
Yeah,
then,
he's been standing for an awfully long time. Maybe you want to go. You might
yeah,
want to go ahead and just a little closer at least.
yeah, I would try and get within like extreme whispering, maybe like 10 feet, and kind of go, Vilmos, what is it? Vilmos. As quietly as possible.
Yeah, you can hear something, Xander calling at you from behind. Do you want to answer him or go back to him or just stay where you are?
Vilmos is kind of startled a little bit, but he realizes that that it's him. So he turns around and looks at him. He slowly walks over to him. I don't know what's happening. I think there's something down this hall.
All right. Okay. All right. Move back. Go and report to Sterling. Move up a bit if you can. I'll give it a try. And Xander's going to carefully trying to hide in every single nook and cranny of the shadows around him, to try and move forward and perceive what's ahead of us.
So you're going to go ahead?
I'm going to try if I can.
Okay, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's 8.
Give me a D10 roll.
That's a 1.
You hear these strange sounds and words, like just almost like whispers in your brain. You realize they're not coming from outside, and almost feel like you've been. I wouldn't say possessed, but you feel like you're losing a little bit of control over your body, almost like you've gone numb. If you ever fallen asleep on your arm before not with the pins and needles, but almost like you try to lift up your arms, it's like feels like dead weight.
Yep.
And you sort of you slip on some of the some rocks on the ground because of this, and you fall down onto the ground. You fall prone.
Okay.
Am I able to see that? Am I too far back?
He moved up.
Okay, I didn't immediately, so I probably didn't see that.
Vilmos, did you move backwards?
No, he stood there.
Okay, you can still hear. Do you have what language do you have, Xander?
Common. I would have probably gone with Elven and Dwarven as them are the two things that I hunt the most.
Okay. Now, what do you do now, Xander? Now that you've fallen over, you're gaining control over your limbs again. It was like a temporary thing, and you get like the pins and needles now as you regain control of your limbs.
Um, I draw a dagger and kind of stick the point in the palm of my hand to kind of give me a system shock to kind of maybe try and have, rather than focusing like what's in my head because of the sensation, I want to focus on something else, and I'm going to choose pain to kind of focus on.
Okay, give me another wisdom saving throw at advantage.
Okay. Oh, double 14s on the die, so that's 16.
You realize that as you step forward, you get that feeling again, but you're able to push through. You think that if you step back, it's gone, but there's a certain point where you step forward and you'll feel it again, but it doesn't affect you. You know that with through the pain, like you can just walk through normally, not a problem. But you know it's still there, but it's not affecting you.
Um, okay. Focusing on that pain, I'm actually going to move back to to Vilmos and say, "Listen, Vilmos, I'm not sure still what's there, but what we've got to do is we can't let it get into our heads. Whatever it is, we need to focus on something else. Rather than thinking, we've got to focus." And I take Vilmos's hand. Does Vilmos let me take his hand?
He's off for a second.
Oh, okay. I guess I
You
would
this
move to
is
get Sterling as well and explain
there
to
is
Sterling.
there is something uh supernatural, at least not normal here. So yeah, maybe bringing in Sterling might be your best bet to understand this.
Yeah, so I explained to Sterling, obviously, the sensation, and I imagine Vilmos would explain that as well. And I would say to him, listen, there's got to be something else, some other sensation to think about, to kind of put our mind on to help us get through this. Um, and I would, and I would ask Sterling if he knows anything that about something similar to this.
Uh, did you go there, Sterling? Sorry, I missed.
I'm not sure about the timeline. I guess I would have went further when Xander disappeared around the bend.
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah.
As he comes back, they tell you what's going on, and then they'll.
Yeah. Natural one.
I say you're more of an archaeologist. This is a little weird. It seems magical in nature. No, you think it might even be natural. What was your total? Since you can't critically fail, but
6.
um, you've never heard of anything like this. You don't know if it's natural. Maybe I think maybe the elves have some weird powers that maybe that they're gloam infected. You haven't really studied elves. Not a lot of people have. It's hard to get a live one for a specimen. Um, yeah, but you think the elves? You've heard that they have psychic powers, and they're it's probably something they're doing. But you're confident in your ability that you can withstand this. But so if you move up any closer, you could do a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, will do. Wisdom, just a second, is +3. A 5 total.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, give me a D10 roll. So you hear, as you step forward, you hear the voices. Xander shows you, says, when you pass this area here, and so you're all in that room. As soon as you pass a certain point, you hear the voices, and what did you get?
I rolled a 1 on the D10. Your mic.
You can choose to re-roll only because it was the same roll, and we want to get something different. But if you want the same thing, you can. That happened to Xander.
I'll re-roll just for fun. 3.
So as you step across that area that Xander's pointed out, your ears fill with this deafening, thunderous sound. And give me a D4 roll.
1.
Yeah, you can't hear anything now. This sound, like a buzzing, thunderous sound, is just in your ears, and you can't hear anything, and you won't be able to cast any spells with the verbal component.
Verbal. Yeah.
So
as I'm approaching this invisible threshold, I'm starting to get afflicted by this sound in my ears, and it's becoming louder and louder and more deafening. And at some point, I would like to whisper to Xander if he's suffering the same as I am in this moment, but it all comes out as, "Can you hear that too? Do you have this roaring in your ears?"
Xander is would be pretty close to him, knowing, kind of getting an idea of the sort of effects that could come about. As soon as he starts shouting, Xander kind of jams his gloved hand into his mouth, sort of thing. Even if he bites Xander's hand, and I want to take my dagger and kind of give him a little prick on the side of his arm or in the side of his leg or something like that, and motion for him to shush. Shh.
Give me a wisdom saving throw at advantage, Oliver.
Oh, sorry, 17.
The sound is now gone, but now you hear nothing. Whether you step in or out of what you think is the area of effect, if you don't hear it at all anymore, the sound, but you still hear silence. But you think at least it's an improvement. You can concentrate a little more now without that sound in your head. I'm going to take that, Zevi, that your character joined them again, but he's standing on the. Xander pointed out where this effect is, and I'm guessing you're standing on the one side. Do you do anything? Do you want to try to step into it again, or something else?
Can I just say I've explained that something like pain helps because you're not thinking about anything else other than the pain, and so I take Vilmos's hand and I prick his hand with the dagger. I don't know if he spots it or expects it, but all of a sudden, he just feels some pain in his hand.
Do you want to try to step over? Zevi?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again, but Vilmos is a lot more careful now.
Okay, give me the wisdom saving throw.
6.
Oh, sorry, at advantage.
Oh. Yeah, still 6.
Boy. It's still you step in and you get scared again. You think you can, it's not enough to keep you from moving. You can go forward, but you are still on edge. Oliver, what did you roll again for the wisdom saving throw?
I can't recall. It was very low. I have a 3+3 modifier, and I believe it was below 10, definitely.
I thought you succeeded.
17.
It was 17?
The wisdom's, yeah? Oh, sorry, with the advantage. Yeah, that was 17. Sorry, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What languages do you have besides Elven or maybe Dwarven?
Deep speech.
So even though you can't hear anything, its voice becomes clear. There is no other sound or other noises. You are totally focused on it, and it is deep speech.
Oh, cool.
It says, "From the stars, which are right, I am here. Through a dark reflection, you will see my form clear." A little creepier than that, but but that's what it says. From the stars, I'll copy it into the chat.
That'd be great.
From the stars, which are right, I am here. Through a dark reflection, you will see my form clear.
And
You try to, yeah. So by now, once you you hear that, and once you step out, like you're not deafened anymore. After that, after you hear it, and it just anyone stepping in will hear the talking, but you will hear that repeated. But it's not. You're no longer deafened.
Mm-hmm. And I will. Does Xander still have his hand around my mouth? In front of my mouth?
Until you've kind of calmed down, you've kind of stopped panicking about losing your hearing, and I can see that you're kind of nodding in agreement that he's got to be quiet. Then Xander would, and then he would release and hold his finger up to his mouth and go, shh.
Okay. And I will be moving a few feet, like as you said, Paul, like moving in and out of this field, and then I would stop because I'm listening or I'm hearing this voice, and then I will be asking my compatriots, "Gentlemen, are you hearing this voice too?"
Xander looks at Vilmos,
who is AFK for a second.
okay. And then Xander looks at Sterling and nods. Yeah, but I can't make out what it is.
You can't. Well, I could, and I will recite what Paul posted. And
from the
stars which are right, I am here. Through a dark reflection, you will see my form clear.
Sounds like riddles in the dark to me.
It does sound like a riddle. Is Zevi no longer afflicted? Like, is he able to normally react?
He can move in there. He is still scared, but he is not. It's not hampering him.
Okay.
It was a temporary effect, but because he keeps failing, he's still going to be scared, but he can push through it.
Okay.
So, you and Vilmos, I guess I'll lead off a little bit now. Let Vilmos recover from whatever it was that afflicted him. I'll take the lead for a bit.
Yes, you also seem to be stronger of will than I am, so that would be very wise. We should be on the lookout. Something mysterious is going on here.
So
it is quite uncommon to hear. Well, the voice we all heard, but I was able to discern what it was saying, and it was deep speech, which is which is sort of an arcane dialect of the deepest regions of the abyss, and we should be on our lookout.
So it's not just elves.
So
it's not just knife ears down here. It's
so
deep and
Xander,
darker things.
You can hear it now. Once you step in, you can make out the words almost like you can understand it. Now that you know what it says, that you can hear it repeating over and over again in your head if you step over.
Yeah. Xander's gonna try and lead the party a little bit more now, letting Vilmos recover a little bit more.
Okay, so you guys are going to continue on. Okay, so you guys head through, and you make it to down another corridor. You have to backtrack once or twice just because it leads off and it starts leading in the wrong direction. So you try a different way. And give me perception checks.
It's a big score. That's 23.
That's 13 for me.
You guys, especially Xander, you can make out. You think it's Elvish, and there's some. I think it's chanting, but you can't really. You don't understand the words. They just keep repeating themselves. But you think they're chanting something, a prayer, or something along those lines. It's not making a lot of sense to you. It's just right now.
Do I get a sense of which direction in regards to our destination was the hostages, the humans?
Right now, as I said, because of the winding corridors, you can't tell if this is going to lead to one area or the other. You're hoping, but you're hearing the chanting, and it does sound, I said Elvish, so it's safe to assume that it's the elves, but you don't know if you'll arrive at the elves first, the humans, or if it'll actually lead to to the humans.
Yeah, that's fair. They're chanting something. Ugh, still can't make out what it is, but chanting groups of elves are never a good thing.
Actually, as you're walking by, I said the stonework has a reflective surface. You think you see movement in it, like a shadowy form inside. Whenever you look at the walls, whichever side, wherever you're looking, if you find a large enough area, see something.
I think at that I've still got a dagger in my hand in case I need it to stab myself again, sort of thing.
Yes.
And I would react and flinch. I wouldn't stab the wall because it might just be in my periphery that I see these things. Have I seen any stars at all?
You don't see anything in the way of stars. You see just it's almost like it's always out of the corner of your eye. You like if you look at if there's a large enough, almost smooth area, you can see like a shadowy figure. If you look at it, do you look at the figure at any point, or?
Yeah, because I've turned and reacted to it with my dagger, like in a defensive position.
There is you see inside as you focus on it, the figure suddenly becomes a little more clearer, but it's still like a dark, shadowy thing. And it looks like it's you holding a strange statuette or something and placing it on an altar or pedestal of some kind. And that's what you see. Do you point that out to anyone?
Yeah, I would point it out to the artist and say, "Do you look in this reflection? What do you see?"
What do I see?
You see exactly the same thing, but it's you placing this statuette on top of a pedestal or something. And same with Zevi. If you look at it,
I am seeing myself as I am placing a statuette on an altar.
oh, sorry, Zevi. I don't know what you heard. So basically, since the walls are a little reflective, Xander's walking by, and suddenly he sees something out of the corner of his eye, and he points it out. And if you look in, you see you putting this strange statuette on top of a pedestal type thing, natural pedestal. And if you look into a different point, you see the same thing wherever there's this reflective surface, and it clues into you to at least to Sterling. Through a dark reflection, you will see my form clear. And the statuette, both of you think this is what the riddle was, and looking at it, it looks. If you give me an Arcana check, all of you can, but Xander. I mean, not Sterling specifically.
17.
This is all becoming a little more clear. This creature you think is the statuette is a creature, possibly one of the gods. If you give me a religion check, anybody?
Xander don't know religion, to be honest, so he wouldn't know at all.
I rolled a 15.
It is. Why don't you give me a name of a god? But it must be a strange, eldritch kind of name.
Melkor.
Melkor. I'm just reading the Silmarillion right now, so.
Okay, let's go with Melkor. You know that twisted statue, that twisted creature that's on the statue is Melkor. It is combination of spidery limbs. That was your idea for the spider. Spidery limbs, and lots of eyes. And you know instantly that is Melkor, an evil. Well, most gods now are evil, as far as you know, and Ungoliant. What does that mean?
That's the spider goddess, the sort of goddess from the Silmarillion.
Oh,
who allied herself with Melkor.
You want to use that one instead?
No, Melkor is fine.
Okay. Yes, and putting, and so you see each of you picking up the statue of Melkor and placing it on this pedestal. And yes, so what do you guys do? Oh, actually, everyone give me a wisdom saving throw now that you guys all fully realize what you're seeing.
19.
16.
3.
Oh.
I'm having really bad rolls this session.
Give me a D20 roll this time for you, Zevi.
4.
You take 5 points of psychic damage. And where did it go?
Oh boy.
And you got a 4? Oh boy. Yeah. You panic and discard all your gear, throwing it as far as you can. First your weapons, then your armor and clothing.
Vilmus, what are you doing? Stop.
So this is some serious shit. You panic, you throw away all your stuff, and yeah, and it's just affecting your head.
Can I try and restrain? Well, I guess grapple Vilmus.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, can I try and grapple Vilmus?
You can.
To stop,
give
stop
me
him from doing it.
Athletics check.
I got a 14.
Give me I'm gonna guess acrobatics for you or athletics, Vilmos. I'm gonna give you disadvantage because you are panicking.
Which one? Acrobatics or
whichever one is better for you.
Acrobatics then.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a 1 on both.
Okay, so yeah, you are panicking, and suddenly Xander grabs you while you're let's see how far you got. You threw away all your weapons, and you've taken off your armor and thrown it, but you're still wearing any other clothing or stuff. You haven't gotten fully naked, I guess. So
Sterling, help me. Try and pick his weapons back up.
Which I will do immediately. Since you're occupied grappling him, I will try to gather the stuff he threw away. I hope not too far.
I like try and get Vilmas in. I guess an arm bar behind his back, and kind of press him against a wall. And I'm guessing I'm there going, shh, calm down, calm down. It's all right. It's okay. Calm, man, calm. Come to your senses. And try and hold.
He's just kind of wiggling. He's been wiggling all this time, just being hysterical.
Okay. Give me wisdom saving throw. Actually, give me an Arcana check, Sterling. Or someone can give a medicine check as well.
15 for Arcana.
You have medicine?
5. I haven't got medicine, so that's a 5 for medicine.
Oh. Okay. Sterling, you think you might be able to do something. It'd be hard to cure madness. Anyone have herbalism by any chance?
Nope.
No. Herbalism kit. You think you might be able to calm him down slightly, I guess, or help him out to regain some of his senses. So if you choose to, then you could do a wisdom saving throw at advantage.
Yeah, if there's something I can try and do, I'll try and do a wisdom save. Although,
Oh no, sorry.
Sterling.
For Vilmos.
Oh,
do, yeah, with Sterling's help, I'm going to give him one more saving throw at advantage.
Cool.
Yeah, I could probably use the spell Prestidigitation and summon some sort of like a smell, an acidic or minty smell, which could maybe assist him in him regaining his mind again.
Exactly. In this case, I'm going to go with you bring up like a minty smell. So we'll go with advantage. Vilmos on a wisdom saving throw.
That's a 13.
You regain some of your composure. You are still panicking a bit, but they managed to calm you down. You're able to take your equipment back, put your armor back on, but you're going to be at disadvantage for disadvantage at attack rolls, which would mean that you won't be able to sneak attack. Sorry, but at least you're still. Yeah, you're going to be panicking, looking around a lot, but you'll still be able to attack. You just won't be able to get sneak attack. Now, if you find a way to get advantage, it'll cancel the disadvantage, but you'll still be able to get sneak attack. You just won't have advantage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if an ally is next to the target, she doesn't need to have advantage, does she? So
you don't have to have advantage, but you can't sneak attack with disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
But that's why if you find a way to get advantage to cancel the disadvantage, then you can still sneak attack.
Okay.
So, so yeah, you're still panicking, and yeah, you didn't want to come here at all. There is some seriously bad shit in here. Now you know why. If that thing is here, or its power is here, its essence is here, it's reaching into this world. But you can press on. You just are going to have that disadvantage on attack rolls. Basically, any D20 roll, you'll have a disadvantage on, which is not good, especially for another wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
So you guys can move on.
Yeah, I would want to grab kind of Vilmos by the collar and pull him in close to me and say, "Listen, we're going to find out whatever's affecting you and affecting us, and we're going to hurt it. And then once we've hurt it, you'll know that there's nothing to fear. All right? So keep it together." Can I do an intimidation?
So you want to do an intimidation?
Yeah, to try and maybe help with at least one roll or something, or if we hurt someone, maybe bolster the strength of Vilmos later on. It doesn't have to be now, but maybe a positive effect later on or something.
That works.
Yeah, I got a 19, 16 on the die.
Okay, give me a sense motive, Vilmos.
Is that insight?
Insight, yes.
What is that? Is that insight?
Insight check, yes. Wisdom based at disadvantage.
6.
It doesn't seem like it. Nothing he says is going to convince you otherwise that you can move forward, you can move on, but you know that you're always looking around there, like there's just waiting for something to step out of, maybe out of the mirrored reflection in the stone, out of the shadows, like an elf, or maybe even this god, evil god himself will step out.
Vilma's just kind of still not calm at all. He's just like, we're all gonna die, aren't we?
We are not.
Okay, so do you guys press on?
Yes. I want to kill something today.
Xander turns to Sterling and says, like whispers to Sterling as Vilmos is still trying to get himself together. Listen, you're gonna have to babysit this one. We'll make our way forward, but yeah, you're gonna have to hold his hand now. Looks like.
Yes, I'll have an eye out for him.
Keep him moving forward.
Okay, so I guess Xander's probably the one who's going to go ahead, and Helena looks like she might be joining us, which would be a good time. And it's interesting; she's the sage background, whereas Sterling was more of an archaeologist. Which this is a nice place if you have time to explore it later. But Sage might be of good use if she does join us.
I don't have that much time today, but like till 8:30 for sure.
What?
So that you just know that I won't.
Well, so what does that mean?
Sorry, another hour for me at least.
Okay, yeah, we can wrap it up. I'm just giving her a chance if she wants to come in. She said she wants to.
Which is, by the way, very kind of you.
I said we should be able to wrap it up in an hour. We have to, I'll fast forward a little, but I think basically you guys are about to get in on what could be the last. Well, it will be the last fight. There won't be another one. Just waiting to see if she's. So you guys move on ahead, and you find a large chamber. You're also, Xander, you've realized that the humans are moving, and two of the elves, with two of the elves, into a large. Well, you don't know into another chamber where the elves are. And I'll give her a moment because there we go, Helena.
True.
Quick summary. Basically, you joined up a little late. You managed to follow everyone through these caverns, and the walls are they're almost black and a little shiny, almost mirror-like. Can you give me a wisdom saving throw? And everyone else, we're going to take a break anyway as soon as I bring Helen up to speed. We're going to take a couple minutes if you guys need to. So, yes, wisdom saving throw.
Which dice?
D20. And then you can add, I think you are proficient in wisdom saving throws, so wisdom plus 2 if you don't have that written down.
8.
Give me a D10 roll.
7.
I'm going to have you re-roll that one. We don't have time to play that one out. But basically what you did roll You critically fail all d20 rolls with a result. Oh no, I'm going to give it to you. So basically, you find it impossible to concentrate. You critically fail all d20 all d20 rolls on a 1 or 2, and that will just be for the rest of the session. So instead of rolling a 1, it'll be on a 2 as well. So, and even though you don't normally critically fail on a 1 for skill checks, we'll just say you'll still fail on you'll fail on a 1 or 2. But yeah, for attack rolls, 1 or 2 is an automatic failure for you. But you managed to push through, and you find up to the party, and if you give me one more wisdom saving throw.
Reset. 4.
If you could roll one more time.
3.
What, you're rolling modified as a 3? How do you?
D20 and modifier 2.
And what's your wisdom modifier? 2?
Shall see. Wisdom. It's 4.
So 4 plus 2, so plus 6. You have a total d20 plus 6. I'm gonna roll for you again. Okay, basically,
Okay, 17.
Yeah, whatever happened. Basically, you were deafened for a bit, but you came up to the party. You looked into the wall, to the mirror-like image, and you saw the statue of Melkor, which is an evil god, spidery limbs and lots of eyes. And but you caught up to the party. You find them, and they explain what's going on. There are some elves up ahead and humans that you believe are maybe prisoners from the crass dirigible, and you guys are heading in. And we'll take just a couple minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes. I know, Helena, you just joined us. We're just gonna take a quick break, and then this will be the final stretch. So thanks anyone who might be watching, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Aragog. Oh.
Helena, do you want to put yourself on mute while we wait?
Well, I guess we're still waiting on Oliver. Well, he's not visible. Uh, Kevin and Sevi, are you there?
Yeah, I never left. It's one of the bonuses to being on a mobile device. I can take my breaks and play at the same time.
There we go.
I'm back.
Okay, and basically, I'll have you guys roll now. Roll for initiative, and we'll just write that down. Anyone? Okay, let's 18. Okay. So what was it? Xander got 18. Helena, well, what's initiative? What initiative does Panan get?
What initiative?
E13. Who wants to go? Who will go first, Sterling or Panan? You both got a 13. Actually, you know what? Just re-roll a d20, and we'll see. Whoever gets higher will go first.
19.
Okay.
Minotaur +5 then.
Okay, so Panan will go last. So for the players,
No.
we Xander, Vilmos, Sterling, and Panan. So you make it into to the edge of what looks like a larger cavern deep below the forest, and it is just covered in this with this black, shiny stonework, and it's a little odd for like so much of it here. But there's also pools of water, but nothing. Sorry, you just rolled again d20, but we'll just leave you at the end. It's fine. If you guys want to change, that's fine. But yeah, do you see what is on a second here. You see a large circle on the ground. It has a red tint to it, but you can't really. Uh, it's still a bit different. Still a bit of a distance away, and there are black candles lit everywhere around the circle. Surrounding the circle is uh, 5 elves, uh, and in the I didn't ask for an intelligence saving throw. I was doing initiative, but that's
Paul. So
yes.
before we kind of get into the room, can we say that we're poking our heads in and we can kind of just see what's going on before we spring into action?
Yes. Just describe. I'm describing what's going on in the
Yeah.
center. I said there were 6 elves before, right? That you.
Yeah.
In the center is another one, and the 5 of them surrounding it, and tied up. Um, tied up between the elves are prisoners, 2 or 3 all around in between, but they're all tied up and also gagged. And you hear the chanting is a lot louder, and they're all chanting. And you see in the center as well, on a little stone pedestal that's been carved a flat that you've seen, is the statue of that god
Melkor.
Melkor. Thank you. And looks like something's about to happen shortly. So, what would you like to do?
Just very quickly, I will be casting a mage armor on myself.
I will be casting Hunter's Mark before we spring into action.
Who are you casting it on?
Um,
Target.
The nearest elf to me, because that's going to be the one that I go after first to disrupt the ritual. So before we kind of launch into the room after them, I'm just going to whisper some words, concentrate on the nearest elf to me. The green glow starts emanating through his body where his weak spots are, and that's going to be me casting Hunter's Mark before we get going.
Okay. I'm going to say that since it's only verbal, there's nothing visual, except to you, but visual to anyone else. And they're kind of distracted, so they don't notice you casting it on them.
Yeah.
Helena, is your character going to do anything to prepare for this? Do you want to cast a spell? Okay. Zevi, are you going to do anything to prepare? Now, Zevi, I forgot that you were what your subclass is. So you have been given. The sergeant knew about this because it was in your wanted poster, your bounty. So you have been given the same deal that Xander has been given. So you are allowed to cast spells.
Okay.
And everyone knows that he can cast spells. He just because yes, the sergeant would have said as much. So yes, Sterling, you've been sent on this mission with everyone's a spellcaster essentially, all four of you. But so yeah, is there anything you wanted to? I don't know what spells you have. Domos, is there anything you wanted to cast to prepare for this?
There's nothing I really want to cast right now.
Okay.
But Vilmos is gonna try to stand where he feels safe, since he's still really scared and not quite sane.
Well, yeah, you have every reason to be scared.
Yeah. But he's gonna ready his flintlock.
Okay. Now, if there's not, basically what's happening is there's the one elf standing in the center and chanting, and he's being surrounded by a blackish smoke, as best you can tell, or a mist of some kind. Um, Actually, we're gonna say that it's not smoke. It looks like the black in this chamber. Now that you've had a good look at it, it is actually infused with the gloam, and it is looks like it's encompassing him with these black spidery tendrils. Is encompassing the guy, the elf in the center. And the elves are chanting. So Xander, what are you going to do next?
I'm just going to say quickly to Sterling, you know what? I didn't expect to see you on that battlement next to me. I think I can trust you to stand next to me in battle, but maybe it's best you stay back here with the other two. I'll go in, deal what I do, and maybe one of you can try and free the hostages, and you just back me up from here.
You are sure to have me backing you at all times, so no worries. Maybe Mr. Roundtree could be able to sneak past the battle and free the humans.
Vilmos?
He is not so sure. He looks way more like it's kind of a complete change of character after he became scared.
Don't worry, I'll keep him busy.
Yes, we'll manage together. No worries.
Okay, so Xander, what are you going to do first?
Okay, so how far away are they? The nearest one that I've just cast Hunter's Mark on.
We'll say within 30 feet. We'll
Okay.
make it easy.
And then how close is the nearest one after that? Not the one in the middle.
Yeah, they're not that far. Within 5 feet, we'll say.
Okay, that's great. So I will look at Sterling, kind of like how Aragorn looks at the party before he charges the Black Gate, and he says, "Ready," and he just sprints, full sprint, after the one that he's just Hunter's marked, and he's gonna cover the distance as fast as he possibly can, as quietly as can, as low to the ground as possible, to try and give himself as big of advantage as possible before striking, and then he's going to attack the one that was Hunter's mark. Drawing his saber to attack. Does a 15 hit?
So you're going to attack one of the elves?
Yeah, the one that was Hunter's mark, the nearest one to me.
Sure. 12 hits.
12 hits. Okay.
So what did you get?
I
You
got 15.
Sorry, 15 hits, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first one goes flying in for 6 plus 5 is 11 damage, plus a d6 because of the Hunter's Mark, 6. 17 damage on that one as I fly in with my saber, lashing out.
You take him out.
With a smooth, clean swipe. And then immediately I'm going to, because I've got 40 feet of movement in the first round of combat, I'm going to spin to my... Which way is the hostages? Are they all around, spread out, or
yeah? In between each pair of elves, there's like 2 or 3 hostages.
Okay.
Because there's 5 elves, so that's 5 spaces for we said 12. Is that how many did I say? 12.
Yeah.
So it's approximately 2 or 3.
Okay, that's fine. And so I'm going to spin to my left and do a backhand cut with the saber again. That's going to be a hit because that's 17 that time.
That hits.
Okay, for 10.
So yeah, this gaunt elf, they're draped in these foul-smelling hide and cloth and stuff, and their eyes are bloodshot, and they got scars on their forehead. The scar looks as an eye, essentially, like it's carved into a third eye, and you kill another one.
Okay, and so I've got another 5 feet of movement to take you up to 40.
Okay.
Yeah, and I dash to the next one. So I've cut the first one down, drawing my sword in one swift motion, spin to my left on the backhand cut, take it again with a saber, and then dash to the next one and do a stab with my short sword with a bonus action. And that's going to hit also, unless the AC is different for this one.
So you're hitting a third time?
Yeah, so the deep stalker gets an extra. So the treader has an extra attack in the first round, or the stalker treader.
Yes.
It's the same thing. So on the first round of combat, I get an extra 10 feet of speed plus 1 extra attack action.
Well, you've taken 2 already.
Yeah, and then with a bonus action, my offhand attack.
Oh, sorry, the offhand. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I rolled a 15 plus 5 is 20. So,
okay, that hits.
3 plus 5 is 8 damage.
You take out a third one.
So I stab him through the throat with a final action, and that will be my turn.
So you see Xander just moving with this almost supernatural speed, and he's swinging. You have two, you said, or no? You have a dagger.
No, so it's short sword in my offhand,
Oh.
and
So you swing around, slashing with the scimitar, slashing with the short sword, slashing with the scimitar, and he's just spinning around, like flying around the circle, and he's taken out 3 of these elves. And
can I just do a quick call out to Vilmos and say, Vilmos, you see, we are on top. We are winning. You can do this.
so with that, Vilmos, what do you do?
Vilmos is going to try to sneak to get just out of sight.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
With disadvantage, yeah.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to give you no disadvantage on this one because they are distracted.
Oh, that's a 21.
Okay. I'm going to guess nobody can see you right now in the party. So, yeah, you sneak up. Are you going to... There is an opening where there are dead elves that you can... Are you going to the prisoners to untie them?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah. So there's a... It's very close. You're about 5 feet. Maybe, let's see. I'm just trying to do my... We'll say about 10 feet, give or take, from the elf in the middle, but you're far enough away from other elves that you can then start untying a few of them.
Yeah, I untie them.
Okay, so yeah, you manage to untie a couple of them, and Sterling, you're up.
So, how many elves are left? Were there like 5 and the leader, or what was it? 4 and the leader.
It was a total of 6, 5.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 standing around chanting, and the one in the center chanting. That's being encompassed with the inky black tendrils that you know is the Gloam.
Yeah. So I will be gathering my strength, and I will be unleashing 3 fiery bolts through my hands, which is exactly that scorching ray. I will cast.
Let's see if they hit this time.
Sorry.
Let's see if
that would be nice. Yeah, I will cast one at each remaining elf. So the first one on the priest in the middle, the high priest or whatever that is, with a 15 to hit. I can't hear you.
I'm just trying to see.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry, what did you hit? What do you see?
15 to hit.
That misses the one in the center.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Damn it. Then I will target one of the other elves with a natural 1. And the other elf with, 21 to hit.
Too bad you didn't save the priest for last.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you hit the one elf.
Okay, so that's 2d6 damage of 6 total.
Yeah, you take another one out.
Yeah, so 2 of the rays, the scorching rays, miss. The one missing the high priest, I will just call him like that, just barely, and the other one's just completely out of whack. And the last one hits one of the elves square in the chest and burns his whole torso, and he falls down. And that's my action.
Okay. Panan, you're next.
I will take my quarter staff and throw firebolt.
Okay, give me an attack roll. Are you attacking the one elf outside of the circle or the one in the center?
In the center.
Okay. So give me a d20 roll, add intelligence modifier +2.
D20 12.
21. Okay, you hit. So roll a d10 for damage.
Six.
So you blast in with this bolt of fire and you hit it, and you see some of the gloam start to burn away off of the elf, and you can hear it screaming underneath. And it looks like they burned off quite a chunk of a good chunk of the gloam. You think it's yeah. And is there anything else you would like to do?
No.
Okay. So as it stands there, it's screaming. It starts changing and growing under the gloam. The gloam reforms over the hole that you burnt away, and it starts growing and more tentacle stuff coming, and you see eyes pop all over it, and it grows into what you think Melkor looks like, at least some aspect of him. And yeah, you see all the blood from all the dead elves that you killed just get absorbed into this, and as it grows into this, and let's see, Xander, what's your AC?
My AC is 19.
Well, these tentacles start whipping out. One of them reaches out and grabs you, and it does 18 points of damage as you start burning a bit from its touch and
Oh,
constricting. And I need you to make either acrobatics or athletics as it's grabbing you.
that's 18 acrobatics.
You manage, as it grabs you, you manage to slip out after it grabs you, and it doesn't hold on to you. Oh,
That
yeah.
hurt a lot.
All I'm going to say that you were lucky on that. Uh, okay, so Vilmos, yeah, you started untying some of them, but now you see this is what scares you. It is right there. It is about 10 feet away from you. Do you want to keep untying the prisoners, or do you want to attack this thing?
I want to keep untying. Vilmos
Okay,
is
yeah, you
really scared. He doesn't want to go near it.
okay. So you managed to regain your composure a bit. Like you don't want to be here any longer than you have to, so you start untying a few more prisoners. Sterling, what would you like to do?
Um, I I just had the idea that I could actually turn Vilmos invisible.
Did I miss a turn? Sorry.
Oh,
Yes, you
sorry.
did.
I apologize. We skipped your turn. Xander, what are you doing? Because I attacked you, so I skipped you.
Yeah. I didn't realize. I thought you were just asking Vilmos like if like what his thoughts were at the moment. Let me just check something. You can use Vilmos. Okay, so I'm gonna call out to Sterling. Sterling, cover me, and I'm gonna move my hunter's mark um onto the whatever creature it is that's forming in front of me.
It's not spoiling it. You can call it the Avatar. It is an
Yeah,
avatar of Melkor.
yeah, the avatar of Melkor in front of me, and feeling extremely hurt, so grimacing in pain as this tentacle just wrapped around me and hurt me. And that's a 17 to hit.
You miss.
Oh no!
You go swinging, and yeah, it somehow you misjudged, and yeah, you're just inches away from it. Let's just say 1 inch.
If only my weapon was magical.
Yes, if your weapon was magical.
Yeah, so I call out to Sterling to cover me and take out the other elf, and then get out of here.
Okay, so do you get another attack?
No, I use my bonus action to transfer Hunter's Mark.
Okay, so Vilmos unties a few more prisoners, and Sterling.
Yes, I will pick up the cue from Xander and will cast another ray, sort of scorching rays. I will cast one scorching ray on the last remaining elf. With a natural one, I will not be hitting that.
No.
And since I said that I will only cast one ray, I will keep it at that. I just could have kept my mouth shut and used another one, but so, and the two other rays I will fire at the avatar with a 20 to hit and a 10 to hit.
So you managed to hit it once?
Once at least.
So you start firing rapid shot.
Yeah.
Miss the elf, right in between them, missing Xander, and then the third one hits.
And 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And I feel emboldened by Xander's missing the word now, battlefield perception and strategic wit, to be very agile and moving all the time. I feel protected by my arcane ward to not just stand in the back rows and be like a glass cannon and just fire stuff, but I feel actively participating in the battle right now. So that was my action nonetheless.
So you're gonna move closer?
Slightly closer, yeah.
You can move. We'll say you can move right next to Xander if you wanted, and still be away from the creature.
Yeah, away from the creature would be wise. Oh. So no melee range.
Well, actually, it looks like it could reach you, but you can be very close to Xander. That next time you can, if you needed to touch him or his weapon.
Yeah, I would do that through my movement later. I would not like to stand next to him right now. Just slightly off.
We'll say you moved up, but not very close. Now you can either go next round to Vilmos or to Xander.
Exactly, that'd be great.
Okay.
Cool.
All right then, Panan, what will you be doing? Want to use any of your high level spells?
Va? My second level war. Magic missile. Uh,
No. Okay, another firebolt then.
I can take firebolt. It's on the big scary creature.
So you attacking the avatar or the last elf?
The last elf.
Okay. They give me
Uh,
the D20 roll.
uh, 14.
That hits the last elf. Okay. Give me a D10 roll for damage.
9.
So yeah, you managed to uh, destroy the last elf in a blast of fire, and it burns him away. Did you want to move closer, or do something else with a bonus action if you have a spell?
I can move it closer.
Okay. The avatar uh, reaches out and to Xander again. What your AC is 18, you said?
19.
19. I rolled amazing for initiative, and I rolled below 10 for attacks. So it comes, tentacles go flying around and just keep missing you. You dodge underneath them. Uh, what do you do?
Um, would it be possible to hold my turn? Now, if that means that, because I want to hold my turn until Sterling goes next. Now, if that means that I will always go after Sterling, then I'm happy with that.
You can use. You can basically say, "I'm hold my action for a trigger." So, what would the trigger be?
Yeah, no, that's not really going to help. Because, like, ideally, what I'd like to do is call out to Sterling to get him to imbue my weapon, and then um,
Yes,
like have my turn to make my attack.
yes. What you can do is you wait for Sterling to cast uh, magic weapon on you,
Yeah.
and then you can attack with it on your reaction. But that takes your action. You won't be able to do a bonus action. You could do a bonus action now. It won't be magical in either case. So you may want to hit it with the bonus action and call out to Sterling to imbue your weapon.
Okay, if I can do my bonus action and then get my weapon imbued and then hold my action to make the attack. If I can do that, then yeah, I'll do it that way. If that's okay.
That's fine. So you reach in, you stab him with the short sword. Do you hit
Yeah.
him?
So it's literally a case of I thrust with a short sword at one of these tentacles, and then I hold my blade back behind me, kind of like a relay runner, but in reverse. When you pass the baton on, it's sort of like that, but I'm just expecting him to. I'm like, magic my sword now. Let's finish it, and then I'm gonna do that, and then so short sword attack. Ugh, that's a 2 on the die, so that's going to be a miss with a short sword anyway.
Yes.
Then yeah, I'm going to wait for Sterling to imbue my weapon and slice at it with my saber, and
Okay.
that's my turn.
Vilmos, you've been untying the prisoners and they've been helping you. So um, they look like they can finish untying the rest of them, unless you want to keep untying them, or do you want to shoot this uh, creature?
I want to try and shoot at it.
Okay, go ahead. And yeah, you won't be able to do sneak attack unless you know of a way to gain advantage to cancel out your disadvantage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so roll to hit, but you do have disadvantage then to hit.
That's a 9.
Yeah, you're wide of. You're holding up your. Is it a pistol you have, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hold up your pistol. Your hand is shaking, and you aim, and you just it goes wide and ricochets off the wall. Will you be doing any moving, or doing anything else?
Um, I would use to try and hide again.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
20 plus 5. And is it
Disadvantage.
disadvantage? Yeah. Well, that's still 21.
Okay,
So,
he got a 19, uh, but yeah, so it doesn't look like he's paying attention to you anyway. Uh, okay, are you gonna are you gonna move for cover or just stay where you are?
I'm gonna move for cover.
Okay, Sterling, it's now back to you.
Yes, I will sprint towards Xander, and while moving, I will take out the scroll of magic weapon from my component pouch, which is on my belt. And I will unwrap the scroll, hastily read the instructions, and with my right hand, touch his. Is it a saber? Was it a saber or scimitar?
Saber.
Yeah.
Saber, exactly. And I will, yeah, chant the incantation and imbue it with magical energy, which is now +1 on attack and damage as well. I'm not quite sure.
Yes.
Yeah, damage and attack rolls.
It starts glowing your weapon now, and you feel a renewed energy. Swing, Xander, and see if you hit it.
Swing, Xander!
And
Ah,
yeah, like seeing the glow out the corner of my eye, I just come with an uppercut swing, like from back, reaching back behind me. It's just a big uppercut swing all the way up above my head, and that was a 18 on the die, so that's a 24 now to hit.
Okay, you felt this energy is just crackling through you. The hairs are standing up on the back of your arm, uh, and you swing and you connect with it. Roll
Um,
damage.
right, is this a humanoid? I'm guessing it's not going to be.
I'm gonna have to say no. It
Yeah,
was. It is no longer.
yeah,
A
that's
human.
fine. That's fine. So
But you
that's
do the hunter's mark damage still.
yeah, so that's 12 with the sword, and then the hunter's mark is a 2, so it's 14 damage on this big uppercut swing.
You just slash into this, and you've hacked off a couple of these tentacles, and you've exposed a bit of the elf below, but it is still standing. It looks really hurt. It is probably, um, yeah, it's severely injured. You see it dripping black uh, gloam, I guess,
Mhm.
black inkiness all around. Uh, Sterling, is there anything else you want to do since it's still your turn?
no, I can't do anything. So I will stand next to Xander and yeah, wait for my next round.
I will give you an action if you wanted to pull out a scroll or
Yeah.
an item to hold it out in case someone wanted to grab it out of your hand.
Okay.
You have just so that Helena knows, you have an invisibility scroll that Sterling has an invisibility scroll, And there were three of them. So Helena, did you want to pick up what is essentially an alchemist fire made with the gassed blood and some other stuff, black powder? Did you want to have one? There were three of them. Did you pick one up?
Yeah, I can pick one up.
So everyone except Xander has one. Now, Sterling, did you want to pull out the scroll or uh, your bomb, essentially, your alchemist fire?
Yeah, that would actually be a very good idea. Since I'm rummaging through my pack and grabbing for the scroll, I'm actually Sterling is reminded that he has the alchemist's fire, and then he will, after the scroll probably vanishes in a puff of smoke and ash, and then he will reach into his pouch and take out one of the alchemist vials.
Okay, so Sterling is holding one. Panan has one, and Vilmos has one already on their possession. So Panan, what would you like to do? You can either cast Firebolt, or you can throw this thing at the creature.
And I will cast the thing to the creature.
Okay, give me a d20 roll and add your dexterity or your strength modifier, whichever is higher.
What was the other one? Dexterity and
Dexterity or strength modifier. Yes, we can say the hostages are just they're just finishing untying everyone, and they're moving away.
where can I find it then? No, couldn't tell. It's 17.
You you miss the creature, but you land just behind it, away from Xander on the ground, and it shatters and explodes in a black explosion, black and red explosion, and and there is this huge explosion, and it knocks into the avatar, and chunks of the gloam, the tentacles come flying off, and you see it start to almost be withering, drying out, and crack. The gloam starts cracking off, and you can see the elf body exposed and dry and withering, where the explosion on half of it. Almost the only way I can describe it right now, the Venom symbiote from Spider-Man is coming off of the elf, and just after like an explosion or something. Actually, Spider-Man actually, like even Spider-Man where the mask is coming off, I guess. Um, is there anything else you want to do, Panan? To move, or I don't know if you have any bonus action spells.
I can move closer.
Okay. Now the avatar. If Helen, if you can mute, I think there's an echo right now. Xander. This creature is. You see it bleeding. The elf underneath is bleeding. The gloam is just flaking off of it, but it is still standing, and one of its remaining tentacles comes at you. Oh my gosh. That's a natural one, and even with his high bonus, he still misses you. It just can't grab you anymore after that initial attack, and it you can hear a scream, a mix of deep speech and elven, almost like two voices. And what do you do now, Xander?
Is it looking like close to death?
Not quite close to death, but it looks badly injured right now.
Um, did it look like that bomb caused a lot of damage?
It did. It did look like it caused a lot of damage.
Okay.
You don't know if all of them are going to do the same, but there's still two more, and then you also have what, two attacks.
Yeah.
So
I'm just not sure if I want to be in the blast radius of one of these things. That's all. Especially how she said it might have splash damage. So, are the hostages kind of away enough?
yeah, they're moving their way to the exit where you guys came in from. So they're out of the way. So it's just the five of you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm going to. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself. D8. That's not a lot. Actually, it's not too bad. So that's 8. So I've put my hands on me and concentrate on the sensation, healing my necrotic wounds, I guess, that I've just taken, and then provoking an opportunity of attack. I'm going to try and run and push, and kind of push Sterling away from this thing and say to him, "Throw the damn thing! Throw the next one! Throw the next one!"
You're moving, or you're just moving out of the way? Moving,
I'm
Sterling.
Yeah, I'm gonna disengage, but without taking the disengage action, so he gets an opportunity to attack against me.
Yeah, it still can't hit you.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
It,
Well,
it's in a lot of pain, and it goes to hit you. The tentacle just shatters. Because it's
it
from
hits
the
my
damage.
new half plate armor. I
Yes.
still want to be between it and Sterling, so I'm kind of pushing him further away from the thing, and I'm yelling.
Sterling, do you resist Sterling as he pushes you out of the way?
No, I don't. As I said, I feel very confident in his abilities.
Okay, Vilmos, are you going to try to hit him again, or throw one of those strange explosive things?
Yeah, after seeing the other ones throwing them, Vilmos remembered that he had one and he just takes it out and throws it.
At disadvantage, and either add I'm going to add your dex modifier to it only.
11.
You throw it, it misses the creature, but it lands between creature and Xander and shatters. One second here.
Would I have moved 15 feet from the creature?
Let's say you move enough that you still get hit by the blast.
Yeah.
But it's not as powerful as it could have been.
Yeah, that's fine.
You take 8 points of this explosive necrotic damage to you. as it just rips through uh, your your defenses there.
I
And
imagine I take like bits of the clay pottery and there's like shrapnel, as like I get all scratches and marks on my face from the shrapnel of the explosion.
yeah, you looked at it. It doesn't look like it took anywhere near as much damage as that first one that was thrown, but it still did quite a bit of damage. Uh, Vilmos, are you doing anything else?
Can I shoot it?
Oh, actually, I should. You were hiding, so I could have given you.
Yeah.
What was what was your other roll? Was it higher than an
Um,
11? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I think I got a 16,
You
then
know
plus
what?
3.
I'm gonna give you no disadvantage. Kevin, you didn't take the damage. You moved far enough away. He threw it on the other side. I forgot he was hiding before. So
Excellent.
I'll just say it. That's why it counted off the disadvantage. Uh, okay, Sterling, you're up.
Yes, I will also throw this vial.
All
And
right,
I'll try to hit. It was a dexterity just as a modifier, right?
or strength, whichever one is higher.
Dexterity is at least a +1. 14 to hit.
You managed to get it away from Xander. Uh, you got it right next to the creature. And huge chunks go flying off of this creature. It looks like it's barely holding together, like the gloam on top of this elf, and it's still moving towards you, but it looks like it's ready to fall down at any moment. Is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, that's my turn. Thanks.
Uh, it moves closer, like well, okay, just figuratively, it's moving closer. Panan, it looks like it's about to fall over. Would you like to shoot it with a firebolt?
Ah, ah,
Come on. Unless there's another spell, it's firebolt might actually do this. Sorry, Oliver. It should only be a couple more minutes if it's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, I gather.
Elena?
She's muted, I think.
Yeah, Helena, did you want to attack with a firebolt?
oh no. Yeah, I can take firebolt.
Okay, go ahead. Roll to hit.
Uh, 13.
It just goes wide, and you just miss it as it comes shambling towards Xander. I can't get any higher. I keep rolling a 7 on the as my highest to hit you with 2 attacks.
No.
So Xander, it's coming. It's right up in front of you, and it's trying to grab you, but it just looks like it's in so much pain, and just bits of it are crumbling off. What do you do?
So I as it lashes out with these crumbling bits of gloam, I'm ducking and weaving and batting aside with my one sword. And then all of a sudden, like its tentacles get tangled together, and I see a clear path to the elf itself. And I spring forward, I run at it, and I jump in the air and I take a swing at its neck with my magical saber. I rolled a natural 20 on the attack.
Just don't bother rolling.
Yeah, I did
Because
think
I
like
think the minimum
24
damage, yeah, the minimum damage would be enough.
Yeah.
So it's on a crit. So go ahead.
Yeah, and so like as its tentacles kind of are slowing down and they kind of get a little bit tangled up, and I see this clear path, and I see a chance to get in at the elf rather than having to swing at the tentacles themselves, and I'm able to jump and swing my saber at its head, and I catch it across the neck, opening up its neck wide as I guess what the thick black Gloam blood comes like gushing out of it, and I kind of as I land, I do a little combat roll almost, or a tumble away from it on the other side.
Okay. As Xander slashes into this and he rolls off, this thing cleaves into, and the gloam around it just almost like explodes off, and everyone takes 11 points of psychic damage from the scream as it explodes. And need everyone to give me a wisdom saving throw.
19 on the die for me. It's a good job that that sneak attack was successful, because Xander would be down if it wasn't for that sneak attack being successful.
Zevi, you are still at disadvantage. Yes, wisdom saving throw. So wisdom, in your case, wisdom +2 plus your D20 +2 plus your wisdom modifier. For Helena, for Panan. Oliver, what did you get?
19 in total.
Zevi?
4.
Ooh. And Helena, what did you get?
Uh, 12. I can't hear you.
Sorry, Zevi and Helena, can you give me a D20 roll?
Uh,
18.
6.
So, as this thing explodes and the psychic screaming just hurts your brain basically with the psychic damage, Panan starts feeling so sick from this, it's just nauseating her, and you start throwing up, and you're poisoned right now. It won't. Don't worry about it. How long? Zevi for Vilmos, you start those whispers that you were hearing. You start repeating stuff in deep speech, and you start speaking it as if like almost like an yeah. There's you just start repeating the same thing over and over again, and even Sterling can't quite make sense of it because it's not the words he understands, but it's just all of it is just jumbled and it's unintelligible even for Sterling to understand. You just start repeating, saying the same thing over and over again. It Sterling, you are hearing black goose, sing human, and it just goes over and over again. You just are making no sense to it. Um, the rest of you regain your composure after a bit, and Panan stops when she stops throwing up and starts feeling better. You compose yourself. You make it back out, and you find the survivors with the two soldiers, and you make your way back to Hollowfort, where Sergeant thanks you for for rescuing them and dealing with these elves. And Xander, you were given a full pardon, and you were given um, a special license. You don't have to join the Ordists, but you were given this permission to use the magic, and you can join up back with the Dawnhammers. And Sergeant uh, Patience, she says that she would like you to stay here and help out if you are willing to, or you could officially join the Ordists and leave with Sterling and Panan if you wanted to.
I
Sorry,
Xander.
hold on. Sorry,
Yeah, go on.
Vilmos is gone a little crazy. He is probably going to be escorted to more of an Ordist place that has like Ordist base is not the right word. Like Ordist lab to get some treatment, but he has gone quite mad right now. Sorry. Yeah, and then sorry. Kevin, you were saying?
I was just going to say, I'd probably look at Sterling and say, well, we seem to make a pretty decent team there. I've got no interest in returning back to the Dawnhammers. What are you doing, Sterling? Do you want a partner in crime, or maybe a partner in thwarting crime, I guess?
Well, Sterling chuckles at that and says, it sounds like a really good idea. I would need to check up with my superiors if they have something planned for me, but otherwise, I'd be willing to accompany you.
As long as you don't mind partnering up with a former criminal, that is. Criminal
You have
scum.
more than redeemed yourself today.
Patience actually gives you her Dawnhammer amulet and says, "You are a full officer now of the Dawnhammers, but you can be assigned to protect Ordist Sterling as well, and given a commendation, a military commendation." And yes, both Sterling and Panan are awarded commendations within the Ordist ranking for this. And Zevi's criminal past has been wiped clean. Not that he cares right now. But yeah, if anyone will do like an outro, we'll go with we'll start off with I guess Oliver. What does Sterling do? It could be now or it could be years from now. You wanna like a little outro.
Well, since he's never been one to be all too keen on these militaristic structures, he did always feel that he had to uphold the codex or his duty, but he never really liked the rigid structures of the order that much. So working with a free mind like Xander, for example, was really to his liking, and I'm pretty sure they and Vilmos and Panan set out to try to repel the Gloam or find a solution to actually eradicating the Gloam and restoring the lands um, to their former glory. And probably he's still busy doing that to this day.
Kevin,
Um,
add
Zan-
anything?
Xander would have enjoyed having the kind of regime, the the regime of being in a military force. But as he kind of felt let down by them and being turned in, he can understand being turned in, but having no sympathy from them, he's happy to walk away from them. And if not completely join the autists, then kind of have this kind of not renegade role, but this kind of tag team partnership with someone who wants a bit more freedom. And Xander would enjoy that also. And I think Xander um, would have basically um, protected Sterling in his investigation on how to eradicate the Gloam. Um, and so, yeah, that would have been a goal that he probably would have gone for. He would have also probably visited, Vol- um, Volmus, Vilmos as well to try and use him in occasions in his investigation. Hopefully, stopping him from going mad if possible.
Let's see. Helena, did Panan join the two of them, or did she go off and do something on her own? Maybe go back to do research, or did she join, yeah, Vilmos and Sterling in adventuring, I guess?
She joined them.
So she joined them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, was good. Yeah. And then Vilmos, did you ever get cured, or did you remain locked away for your own good?
Remain broccoli.
Well, I would want him to not be crazy forever, but well, I think that is your choice.
Oh, I'm gonna let you do it if you want to describe if you get cured and join the three of them out adventuring, or do you remain crazy forever?
I don't think I'd want him to have a Lovecraftian end that quick, at least.
Oh, that is a good idea, Kevin. Uh, you maintain some sanity, but not completely, and you become you connect with some uh, power. Uh, Not quite a god, but something powerful from beyond that gives you a sense of sanity, but only in part, and it keeps you safe and protects you from the gloam. And if Melkor ever decides to come back, it'll give you a little bit of protection. And yes, I like that, becoming a warlock. You're making a deal with something for the greater good, I guess, which is totally fitting if that works for you. Sevi?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was interrupted.
So, what do you think of that? So, something reaches out to you and gives you a bit of sanity enough that you can function again and offers you power and some protection. Do you accept it?
He is very wary, but he still isn't quite himself. In if nothing of the things that did happen happened, he wouldn't have. But in this situation, he does.
So, within your own mind, you don't know why people are not understanding you. You try to tell them, give them maybe a warning or something, and they don't seem to understand you. And then something says, I can help you, and offers its a fragment of its power, and you accept, and you are now able to communicate with people, and you've joined up with Sterling, Xander, and Panan, and the four of you uh, are given a small dirigible with a just a, with a small crew, and you go out basically uh, out dealing with any potential problems with the combined knowledge of the two artists, the tracking ability of Xander, and the stealth of both Vilmos and Xander, and all this bending the arcane magic to your every desire. And we'll call it a wrap, and everything, we'll have it fade to black. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to my players. Bye.